Hi, it's Janet Wakeland with RemARkably Created.com here with another One Take Wonder video. Today we're going to look at this beautiful custom burlap wreath just in time for your holiday decorating. In a previous video I talked to you about how you could create custom burlap ribbon by using stencils, ink pads, and daubers for dots, for stripes, for chevrons, different versions of chevrons, looking at it like this, and this is actually the print that's on here now, and also with embossing on your ribbon. So the first step is going to be to take your burlap ribbon and to alter it if you want a tone-on-tone look for your burlap ribbon. Then I went ahead and I used a star stamp that I embossed, and I embossed it on our gold and silver foil, and then I created these flowers. I'm going to show you the steps for that. So let's go ahead and let's get started. First, we're going to be working with our gold and our silver foil paper. I just love this. It has a really nice cardstock weight to it, but it's very easily cut with scissors. It's very easily cut with framelits, Big Shot dies, and all of those kinds of things. We have our single star stamp, which is beautiful. Stampin' Up! Is known for its sets of stamps, but it also has these beautiful single stamps. We're going to take our Encore Pad Gold, and I love when I can use gold Encore with gold embossing powder. Yes, you can also emboss with Versamark, but I just find if there's ever like a tiny little missed spot or something like that, when I've embossed with gold Encore, then there's a gold background to it, so that just makes it that much easier. We'll just go ahead and we'll just press it on, make sure that our image is there, and then we'll go ahead. We want to take, oops, and I forgot a little spoon, so we'll just have to be really careful. Yeah, not so careful, Jan. Good job. And we'll just kind of spread that around, make sure I cover all the edges, and we missed a little bit, so let's just see if we can get it up on there. And there we go. Now we've got it all covered, and just because I don't want powder all over everything, give me 2 seconds to get the little bit that I spilled. And we'll put that off to the side. And then to emboss, you need a heat tool. You can't use the toaster. Trust me, I've had customers try that in the past. And you also cannot use a hairdryer. A hairdryer does not get hot enough. You could lay a bunch of them on the oven, in the oven, and quote-unquote bake them. But a heat tool is just so handy at your workstation. Our new ones from Stampin' Up! Have a nice protective piece around them so that you can't accidentally burn them. Burn yourself with the metal piece. So they're also great if you're working with young children, because they're safe. They're also very quiet, which is really nice. And it has 2 speeds, a high speed which will heat emboss quicker, and then it has a lower speed. The lower speed is great for things like your shrink plastic, which you want a slow, even heat with. One of the things with embossing that I like to teach or to tell my customers is that you want to chase the change. Instead of just going around crazy like this where you might miss this piece, just find one corner and start in that corner. And as that starts to emboss, just kind of follow along or chase the change, as I like to say. And so we're just going to go ahead and we'll emboss this. I always feel a little bit like David Copperfield when I'm embossing, because it's kind of like magic. It's like, ooh. I remember 18, 19 years ago trying to emboss on my own after seeing a card in a craft store. This was before I became a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and buying this little burner thing to heat over or whatever. It was such a fiasco. So you'll have your embossed image, and then you're going to want to go ahead and you're going to want to let it cool off for just a second. No, we do not have a die for this star. We have this amazing tool called paper snips. They are absolutely wonderful scissors to cut with. There we go. And a star just has nice straight lines, so it makes it easy to cut. And let's just go ahead and we'll cut all sides. And I went ahead and cut 5. I was always told in art and crafting you should do odd numbers, so that's why there's 5 stars and 3 flowers. I'm not sure. I'm sure some artsy person could explain the rationale behind it to me, but I do notice that it does look better. The star has these lines on it, little rays that are part of it, part of the design. And all we're going to do is take our bone folder and a ruler, and we're just going to kind of crease those lines. And I'm just working right on a hard table. You don't need a mat or anything like that behind it. And then once you have your creases, all you want to do is just kind of reinforce them a little bit with some finger folding. And you want to make sure that you get all of them, kind of the whole way around, wherever those creases are. And that's what's going to give your star some depth and allow it to pop up on your project. And I simply just went ahead and once I had them all popped up, I just have hot glue behind them and just kind of caught the edges of them. So just a little bit of hot glue is how I did that. And there's actually a silver one behind here, and you just want to place them so that it looks visually appealing to you. Then for the flowers, this is actually really easy. What you're going to do is, this is a scallop circle from the Circle Framelit set. You're going to take your paper snips, you're going to cut it at an angle, and then you're just simply going to do a spiral cut. I'm just going all the way around. And I like this because it has that scallop finish on the outside. Don't worry about cutting in perfect circles. You're going to just have this really pretty finished flower, and nobody's going to know whether it was crooked, thick, thin, any of those kinds of things. But we're just going to go ahead and kind of like a little pigtail. So now you've got your little spiral. And one of the things that you can do is either using hot glue or glue dots. Behind here, you want to just kind of start to bring the pieces together, and then you're just going to wind that spiral in. And what I found was that as I worked, if I took, and now like here I would put a glue dot, and just a couple of glue dots as I worked, and again maybe now another glue dot, and I just kept winding this in as I worked, just trying to kind of keep it tight, bringing it in. And again, just different, couple little glue dots here and there as you go. That will keep it from unspiraling. And you're just going to keep working your whole way around. You can loosen it up a little bit or tighten it up depending on how big you want that flower to be. And I'll bring mine back in just a second so that you can see it. And again, you want to remember to be adding some glue dots as you go. You could also add a dab of hot glue if you have your hot glue gun out and ready. So just like that, you're going to have your pretty little vellum flower. And then what I did was I went ahead and put some hot glue in the middle, and I pushed down in our clear vintage faceted buttons, and you'll see that in just a second. And then lastly that I did is I went ahead and I took one of our two-way glue pens and I just rubbed it over the edge. This is a nice clear glue, and I went ahead and just rubbed it over the edge. And then I went ahead, holding on to my flower, by then it would have the button, I just dipped it into glitter, had that pretty little glitter on the edge, took a big dollop of hot glue, and then I just pressed them into the glue. And so that's where the three flowers come from. It is the cardstock vellum, our vintage buttons in the middle, and then the glitter around the edges. So single star, scored on the little marks that are right part of the star to pop it up a little bit. Our burlap that we went ahead and used our StazOn ink and a dauber to alter the color of, and then the cardstock vellum with the scallop circle framelit to create these beautiful little flowers. And I absolutely love white and burlap for the Christmas time, and I have a beautiful white and burlap Pinterest board, so stop on by and check out my pins and come join me on Pinterest. Have an awesome day and happy holidays. Take care and God bless.